Erfan Firouzi is a distinguished environmentalist and biodiversity advocate with a multifaceted profile. Currently a high school student, Erfan's academic journey is characterised by a profound dedication to the natural world. He's pursued extensive scientific research, particularly in the field of biodiversity, accumulating over 8 years of hands-on experience. This relentless pursuit of knowledge has led him to become a student researcher at Heriot-Watt University, where he's further expanded his expertise and contributed to the scientific community's understanding of our planet's intricate ecosystems. And he joins me today. Welcome, Erfan.
Thank you so much.
Great to have you here today. Let's go straight into the questions so we can find out a bit more about you. Erfan, you're so passionate about the environment. Obviously, you won a Global Youth Award last year for exactly that. And also biodiversity. Where does your passion come from?
But it's a very long story, but my passion for the environment and biodiversity is deeply rooted in my early experiences. I mean, as a child, it was extraordinary seeing the natural world. And the wonder I felt in the natural world since I was a child was extraordinary. So growing up, to be honest, I was fortunate enough to spend a lot of time outdoors, exploring, observing wildlife, and immersing myself in the beauty of nature. I came to realize that nature is all around us, and we must just be able to see it, to accept it. I mean, one of the biggest influence was, of course, my grandfather. I mean, I recall my grandfather, he telling stories about wildlife, and I also had most of my nature expeditions or adventures with him. I recall witnessing, let's say, an Iranian tortoise, the Testudo gracia, crossing the road with my grandfather, and we got down of the car and helped it across the road. And this was at least 12 years ago, and I've not seen even one of those tortoises since then. And experiences such as these made me to start what I'm doing today. Again, one of the key influences was, of course, inspirations for my passion has been the works of the environmental pioneers like Sir David Attenborough. And as his documentaries and books opened up a whole new world for me, showing the incredible diversity of life on Earth and the intricate web of ecosystems that support it. I mean, it's extraordinary when we look at it. And I've always seen Sir David Attenborough as a role model, someone who has dedicated his life to environmental conservation and education. And I've also written to him 2 letters, which I've got a reply from, which was really extraordinary to see. Amazing. And the ability to communicate complex scientific ideas is an engaging and accessible way left to profound impact on me. These have been a few influences that I've had. But as I grew older, I became more aware of the challenges our planet faces. The natural world I used to see began to disappear. Species vanished and reduced. And this was us interfering with the intricate web of life. I mean, these challenges weighed heavily on myself and my heart, we can say. And I knew I wanted to be part of the solution. I always was curious about the world of science, especially life on our planet. And I soon realized that my passion for the environment wasn't just a personal interest, it was calling to take action. And I recall it was exactly at the age of 10 when I officially began researching and delving into the world of biodiversity. Researching and soon spreading action and awareness for the natural world. And my passion was further fueled by the incredible experiences I've had in the field, whether it's tracking wildlife in the rainforests of Iran or studying marine ecosystems here in the UAE, or simply sitting in a quiet place and observing nature, such as in Georgia. So each of these moments reinforced my belief that in the importance of protecting our planet and its biodiversity. So with all my experiences and studies, I came to realize that every single species, from microscopic soil organisms to the largest whales, each species is connected and plays a pivotal role in our planet's health and well-being. And in doing so, I have worked with many individuals around the world, and that made me become more motivated, that when we join our hands together and when we hear one another's melodies, we create something truly remarkable and a sustainable world.
Amazing. Yeah, and David Attenborough, what an incredible journey that he's had. And I think it's wonderful that you got a response from him. And what a beautiful way of looking at the natural world. And I can see the journeys with your grandfather obviously made an impact with you. So you're currently the biodiversity storytelling leader for Green Youth Majlis of Abu Dhabi Environmental Agency, and also a WWF leader of change. Tell me a bit more about the roles, and what do they entail?
So, as the biodiversity storytelling leader for the Green Youth Majlis of the Abu Dhabi Environmental Agency, it's me and 10 other committee members, and there are around 400 members part of this team, all of which are youth.
Wow.
And the Green Youth Majlis is a youth-led group that the leaders such as myself inspire the UAE's youth to share ideas and make changes by becoming proactive in taking action for environmental protection and conservation, and interconnect with other youth members. So, and of course, it is under the Environmental Agency Abu Dhabi, that is the Middle East's largest environmental regulator, which is committed to protecting and enhancing air quality, groundwater, and biodiversity of the Abu Dhabi's environment and other places in the Middle East as well. So, my role as the biodiversity storytelling leader, one of the primary responsibilities is to design and conduct educational programs and initiatives aimed at raising awareness about biodiversity and the importance of conservation. This is something that I'm an expert at, and it involves developing content, organizing workshops, and engaging with schools and communities to share knowledge about local ecosystems and wildlife. But I've also dealt with international environments as well. And I use my own specimens sometimes to express what's happening to our planet. And as a result, I've also got the global award winning for storytelling by We Naturalist. So storytelling is something I'm pretty passionate about. And so using the power of storytelling, I work to communicate complex scientific concepts and environmental issues in an accessible and engaging manner, so people can relate to it, of course. And this could involve creating narratives or videos or presentations that captivate the audience and inspire them to take action for biodiversity preservation. And through this role, I play a crucial role in advocating for biodiversity conservation. And this includes also collaborating with local communities, decision makers, and stakeholders to promote policies and actions that protect the environment. And they involve participating in environmental campaigns, attending conferences, and engaging with policymakers. This was, of course, the role I had as the biodiversity storytelling leader at Green Youth Majlis. But the Emirates Nature World Wildlife Fund is a non-profit organization. And the organization was founded around 2001 under the honorary founder and president of the Environmental Nature of the Emirates, WWF, His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Zayed Al Nahyan, as a legacy of the late Sheikh Zayed's vision of the UAE. I mean, the Leaders of Change program is a program under the Emirates Nature, WWF, and every activity in this program contributes directly in environmental conservation in the UAE. And my role and responsibilities are centered around environmental advocacy, education, and raising awareness about, of course, biodiversity and conservation. So the WWF Leader of Change program focuses on empowering youth leaders to drive environmental change. In this role, I'm expecting to be a productive youth leader in addressing environmental challenges, particularly those related to the World Wildlife Fund's conservation goals. And to be honest, as a leader of change, I might be involved in leading or participating in action-oriented projects aimed to addressing different specific environmental issues. And these projects could be from wildlife conservation, let's say camera traps, to climate action. Like when just a few months back, we planted around 2,500 mangrove trees in a day in somewhere in Sharjah. So both the roles as leader of change and biodiversity storytelling leader are, to be honest, highly dynamic roles and require a deep commitment to environmental conservation. They offer the chances to be in the forefront of efforts to protect our planet's biodiversity and ecosystems, while also empowering and educating others to join this global movement.
Yeah, amazing. Absolutely amazing. What an achievement. And I love what you said about storytelling, because you're right. You know, you really need to capture people's imaginations and their hearts. And I think that the better the storyteller, and I think maybe that's why Sir David Attenborough is such an inspiration for you, because he really does that with everything he does. And I know that you do. On that, you've recently written a book, The Year Earth Changed. Tell us a bit more about that.
Well, of course, I cannot tell completely what is inside because it's around 300 or so pages.
Yeah.
But I will cover like what it talks about overall. My book overall focuses on topics of mainly biodiversity loss, climate change, and the concept of rewilding the world. And it explores the impact of human activities on the environment and the need to address these issues in order to restore and protect the planet ecosystems. When we talk about the first chapter, for example, it delves into the history of Earth, highlighting its extraordinary natural forces that have allowed life to thrive. It discusses the importance of factors such as the distance from the sun, the magnetic fields, and the ozone layer, volcanoes, and weather patterns in sustaining life on Earth. However, it also shows the development of life over the years, and from the first cell to, of course, humans. And it also emphasizes the fragility of this system and the threat posed by human activities. And it covers all 5 mass extinctions. And one of the most wonderful aspects of this book is that I share my own personal experiences in relation to what scientific points that I'm talking about. And I'm giving this idea as a young naturalist, recounting adventures and encounters with various species of animals and plants. And as a result, the solutions and scientific findings are based exclusively on the changes that I've witnessed over the years myself, such as the decline of species of insects, let's say, and a need to take action to protect biodiversity. Apart from that, one of the key points that I focus on in the book is the concept of rewilding, and it's the central theme of the book. Here I argue that by working with nature, humans can help restore and revive ecosystems that have been damaged or destroyed. I present the idea that it is possible to switch off the destructive forces and instead focus on healing the planet. I mean, throughout the book, I emphasize the importance of understanding and appreciating the natural world, and I encourage readers, especially young people such as myself, to become aware of the threats facing the environment and to take action to protect and preserve it. So overall, we can say that the book focuses on raising awareness about the urgent need to address biodiversity loss and how it is biodiversity loss that is the main driver of climate change. And it also offers insights and suggestions on how individuals such as myself and yourself, Ms. Tanith, can, with their society as a whole, contribute to rewilding their world and create a sustainable future. I mean, I also here, I recall my childhood memories of visiting museums that inspired my curiosity about the natural world. And it was in these museum experiences that motivated me to take action and start my own collection of animal specimens at a young age. And it speaks about a crucial point, which I believe, because to be honest, growing up in the 21st century, it is pretty much hard to witness in yourself the, let's say, the loss of our planet's biodiversity, the impacts of climate change, because most of people of my age these days are into their devices or not much spending time in the countryside and outdoors, so it's very hard to see. And so in my book, I reflect on how the natural world has been disappearing around me. And I express, of course, my deep love and passion for the fascinated creatures that live in the natural world. I mean, here I share encounters with voracious wildlife, from the giant crayfish in the lakes of Shiraz to the Arabian oryx. And I believe that by sharing experiences and while raising awareness, people can develop a deeper appreciation for nature and take action to preserve it. Overall, my adventures in the book provide a personal anecdote that illustrates the beauty and fragility to the natural world. And while it also highlights the urgent need for conservation efforts. And as I mentioned before, I provided the framework for rewilding the planet, which I represent as an acronym, Rewild, and each letter represents a distinct solution towards restoring and preserving biodiversity. So in this case, we have got regenerate, evolve, welcome wildlife, innovate, learn, and discontinue. So we can see overall, my book is a more detailed version of what I spoke at TEDx.
Yeah. Beautiful, really, really beautiful. And I love the idea of rewilding. Actually, somebody highlighted to me the other day that if you saw the whole existence of time on the planet as one day, humans have only been around for 1 second of that whole entire day. And to look at the destruction that we've created through not trusting nature to do what it needs to do. And you look at any species or anything in nature, and if it's left to its own devices, it thrives instead of just survives, which is what happens when us humans step in and think that we are going to be able to change things. So I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to reading your book, and we'll make sure that we've got the link to that, because I really highly recommend that everybody reads that. So as if that's not enough for you doing, my next question is, are you currently working on any new projects? And also, what are your plans for the future, Erfan?
Well, I'm trying my best to have new projects around, but to be honest, as it's my last year of school, I'm indeed juggling with a few significant commitments, such as looking for university, board exams, and such. And one of the projects that I'm particularly working on is an international collaborative project, which I'm hoping to finish before COP28, which I call the Symphony of Life. And it contains 6 episodes in which I speak about different issues, biodiversity loss, all the way to the planetary boundaries and how we are, crossing them. And it includes a lot of people taking part in this program by having their own voice heard as quotes and small statements they have got. Simultaneously, I am also preparing for COP28, and which I've got 2 sessions so far part of it. One is about my own experiences I'm expressing in Youth Hub on December 9th, and the other is about harmonizing nature, rewilding the planet and such, which is, the date is not yet finalized, but it comes under the Greening Education Hub by the Ministry of Education. Apart from that, as of now, what I'm working on tirelessly is a research paper on the impacts of plastic on sea turtles. And for this, I'm using the help of both local and international scientists on what's happening when a sea turtle ingests plastic and much more. So it's a project pretty much difficult to work on, but hopefully we can achieve it in just a few months.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. And I know that there will be some people I know at COP28, so I recommend anybody else who's going there to wander over and listen to what you've got to say. Really exciting projects that you're working on. Final question, and I think I know the theme that this might take. If you could change just one thing in the world, Erfan, what would that be and why?
Well, to be honest, there's a lot that must be changed. Humanity has changed over the years. We have lost that will of collaboration, especially after COVID-19, spending time at home. It was a situation we got far away from humanity's famous attributes of being together, social creatures. Well, that includes the future, one thing that I can change to make a better future. So if I could change one thing in the world, is to transform the perspectives of how people perceive the natural world, particularly the importance of biodiversity. I've got in my talk sessions and specimen presentations, I've got people who approach me and they're like, "You believe in climate change, or are you doing this for sure?" And I always tell them, well, there is no show-off in this. It's correct. We do live in an urbanized triangle, where we blame each other, governments blame individuals, individual blames businesses, businesses blame government. So it's a whole cycle by itself. And we think that because we live in cities, we won't be impacted by the loss of creatures elsewhere. But if we have that understanding of biodiversity, we can achieve a wonderful future. I mean, imagine a world where this understanding is widespread, where the significance of every species and ecosystems is not just, known, but also deeply felt. I mean, in this vision, something incredible happens. People from diverse backgrounds, cultures, and beliefs find the common cause, saving the planet. And we set aside our differences, and to be honest, we unite with a shared goal and work hand in hand to protect the earth. And it's basically the return of the lost lot of sense and the lost sense of humanity. And what follows is the blueprint for a sustainable future. Because when we save biodiversity, naturally we start working with nature. So our cities become vibrant hubs of innovation and creativity. And everywhere you go, you can see a whole array of mesmerizing symphony of biodiversity. And it's also important because most of our issues currently is ended. I mean, hunger and poverty are distant memories in a sustainable future, and they're replaced by an era of equality and social progress. And our lives are powered by renewable energy, and the air we breathe is cleaner than ever before. But the most exciting part of this world in which people know about the importance of biodiversity is we create a future for our children and future generations. I mean, there are some points when I'm studying biology or some of my school subjects, when I go and talk and say, I'm going to study biological sciences, but what if there's nothing by the time I finish university? I mean, it is a possibility. But if we address these issues right now, then children and the youth such as myself get to explore and immerse themselves in the natural world like never before. I mean, overall, we can say the message in this tale is simple. We have to power and shape our future, and it is by embracing sustainability that we paint a canvas of hope and a promise for the future generations that follows. And this is a world where I dream, and hopefully we can achieve that in the near future.
Amazing, really amazing. And it's true what you say about the triangle and everybody pointing fingers. We've all got to take responsibility for everything that we do in this world, because we don't inherit the earth, we borrow it from our children. And as you say, the importance of us leaving behind a legacy that is a strong one that links us back together, and the natural world, including humans in it, living in harmony and symbiotically, is so important. So thank you, Erfan, for today. You are going to be doing a virtual talk at the Global Youth Awards this year, which I'm really very, very excited about. And I'm really looking forward just to seeing more of the work that you do, and more of the talks and things that you're doing. Please do share any links with us so we can include them in the article. You are such an exceptional young man, and it's a real pleasure and a privilege to have you as one of our Global Change Ambassadors. So thank you very much.
So much.
Okay, thanks. Take care.